What do you want from me?
A little test behind you. Nicely done.
I don't trust you.
Naturally. Umbrella has developed an antivirus, and you are the only one that can save all of humanity. You up for it?
I have no reason to believe a word you say.
True. But I can offer you something that you really, really want very, very much.
What is that?
Revenge. Revenge on Wesker.
All this could end.
Yes. You have 48 hours. Alice, 10 years ago at the Hive, we both failed. Make it right.
Wow, the final chapter.
I know.
I mean, that's got to be really a kind of a bittersweet feeling, right?
It is. It really is. I mean, listen, this has been 15 amazing years of my life. You know, met my husband, had 2 beautiful girls. So it's definitely hard to think that I'm never going to go back to this amazing world of Resident Evil, you know? It's so fun, the stunts and the sets and the zombies. I mean, it's very different from my everyday life. So it was nice to kind of escape and be this superhuman, you know, warrior. So we'll see. We'll see.
So this isn't you on a daily. You don't like if someone gets, you know, you're in traffic. You know.
I like to think it is, but you know, I've never been tested.
Good. Well, it's funny watching these and watching the growth, but I feel like the final chapter seems so final. I don't want it to end. I think, would you ever, like, if they rebooted it, would you ever come back for a cameo or something?
Oh, definitely. Listen, I am not ready to hang up my Alice boots.
Good.
Let's put it that way. But, you know, I'm happy that we went this far, and I'm happy that we could bring the franchise to a close in such an epic way. I mean, this is really the biggest and best Resident Evil. It's terrifying, but also, you know, Alice, who's gone through the whole franchise, not knowing who she is or where she comes from, she's finally going to know about herself. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be really interesting for the fans because there's quite a few twists in there.
Yeah, well, Paul said he knew about those twists from the beginning, and he didn't even tell you.
I know, he keeps saying that.
That's
I
crazy.
don't know if I totally believe him, to be honest.
Well, we did discuss...
Keep that from me.
If we're going to do another one, we did talk about doing a musical.
Yes? Or
Yes.
Resident Evil on Ice?
Yes, that would be really...
Yeah.
That would be well, where do you go from here after playing this character for 15 years? Where do you go? What as an actress do you want to do, or are you going to take a break?
Well, I mean, I think actors are either working or not. Mm-hmm. So we get loads of chances to take breaks in between films because you're just like auditioning, trying to find the next part. So, I mean, a break is always going to be there. But, you know, I like based on true story movies. I love historical movies. So I would love to do more things like that, I think.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I think the thing about this what you've created with this character is just going to be forever. I mean, it's one of those things that people, it's iconic.
Well, I love that it's become a bit of a cult classic, which is fun for me.
Yeah. Do you mind? I mean, obviously the critics aren't always on board with it, but the fans are.
Yeah, you know, I've never seen a successful movie that was created by critics, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. You know, you could have the best reviews in the world and the movie doesn't do well, which I've experienced as well. So with these kind of films, I'm kind of, you know, as soon as I start seeing too many good reviews, I get worried. Because I'm like, wait a minute, why do they like it? Is it really good? Are the fans going to like it? Because it seems way too, like, thinky. No, we just want people to have fun.
Wow, dude, you're kidding. You start with the action in this film right away.
Listen, it's the final chapter I had to deliver. I wasn't going to get another chance. I had to squeeze it all in.
Why the final chapter? Why was it now, and why did you come to this?
I was very excited about telling the secrets that I've been holding for 15 years now. You know, the truth about the Alice character, the truth about the Red Queen, the fate of the Alice character, the real agenda of the Umbrella Corporation. You know, these are things that I knew when I wrote the first movie, and I've been keeping the secrets even from Milla. I never told her. So it was, you know, I was very excited about kind of bringing the franchise full circle, returning her to the Hive, back to where it all began, and kind of like giving those secrets to the audience at last.
Yeah, there's definitely a kind of a feel that I don't think has been, you know, you've gone all over the place with this this franchise. I feel this goes back to the original in more ways than any of the others have.
Well, I think not just in terms of like location, you know, going
Yeah.
back to Raccoon City and the Hive. Also, it's a return to the survival horror roots of the original video game and of the first movie as well. You know, the first movie was very, very scary. It was very contained. It was very claustrophobic. And I wanted to return to those kind of scares. So I wanted to return to the horror, but while also keeping, you know, the big action that people have come to associate with Resident Evil.
Oh, and there's big action here. What was the most difficult to pull off? Because there's some pretty cool stuff here.
I would say the fight on the troop transporter between Milla and Ian Glenn.
Oh, that was fun.
I mean, that was very, very difficult. I think it's the most fight moves Milla's ever had to remember. You know, that top of that troop transporter is not the easiest place to fight. Plus, it's the top of a moving vehicle. I mean, there was a lot of challenges on that. But I mean, I think you see the finished scene, and it's a kick-ass piece of action, and you can really tell it's the two actors up there doing it for real.
Yeah, she just continues. It's weird how she's grown and how she's just really become this character. Like everything about her you watch. As a director, that must be awesome. Obviously, you have closer, you know, relations with her. But what was it like to watch her grow in this role?
Well, I think it's a really interesting role for an actor to play because essentially she began as a blank slate. You know, in the first movie, the Alice character wakes up, she has no memory. So she doesn't know how she feels about things, and she's learning about her character as the audience are learning about her. And I think that's one of the successes of the franchise and why people like it, is that she is really she's the human heart of the story. You know, I think Milla is the person everybody follows, and she gives weight to the action.
Now, obviously, it's a successful franchise and people love it. There's the fans for it. Is there ever a return? Are we going to see, you know, Friday the 13th had the final chapter and then the new beginning?
I've always felt that there's a musical version of Resident Evil somewhere that I would love to see. Like the musical numbers, you know, Milla bangs it out on the piano occasionally. I mean, that's where I'd like to go.
It's like La La Land meets Resident Evil.
Come on, there's an audience for that, right?
I think it'd be
right.
Well, welcome to the world of Resident Evil.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Well, how did you get involved?
I don't even know. I still don't know.
It's crazy.
You know,
right?
I was at home planning a trip to Cuba. I'm from Cuba originally. And all of a sudden, I get a phone call from my agent and manager telling me they were offering me a part in the movie. And it's crazy because I was a big fan of the franchise, and I saw all the movies. And I played the game before too, so all of a sudden I'm gonna, you know, imagining that I'm gonna be part of this Resident Evil world. It was a crazy idea, man, you know. It was so crazy. I was never, you know, I never imagined that. And, you know, put myself on a plane, went to Cape Town, stepped on the set, and all of a sudden, you know, it was everything in 5 days. I couldn't really, you know what was going on, man.
Wow.
It was so fast, man. Everything happened so fast. I get there, I met Paul, Milla, get these guns, this is how you shoot them, this is how you use the sword, this is how you're gonna kill the zombies, and now go do it.
Wow.
Oh man, it was crazy, but it was a fun ride.
What, did they just throw you in? I mean, did you get training or anything on the gun?
I only have 4 days to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I only have 4 days to get ready. But you know, I had the chance to shoot another action movie. You know, where I was using a sword and things like that. You know, I do a lot of action. I love that. So it wasn't so hard to get used to it. But I'm gonna tell you, it was hard shooting it because physically we had a lot of scenes every day. You know, a lot of action scenes. This movie's all action. So
It's all action.
every day you go to the set and you're running, fighting, shooting, jumping off cliffs, getting into lakes, and very low temperatures. You know, oh man, it was crazy. But it was fun. I mean, that's what makes this movie fun.
I gotta say, stepping into that world, that must be so freaking rad. Owen was telling me about you actually had real structures and you're really stepping into a world.
Yeah.
That's got to be amazing.
Oh, it's crazy. We were all like, wearing all these cool stuff, these guns, heavy guns that were really heavy, the heavy swords, boots, the outfits were really awesome, but at the same time, you're running with them all the time.
Yeah.
You're getting into lakes with them all the time, and this part where we had to get in this lake, that it was real. And then they said, "No, don't worry." Paul's like, "Don't worry, we have people checking in there," and they're like, "No, they didn't have anyone."
Oh my God!
Holy shit! What are we getting ourselves into here, man? It was dark. You didn't see anything. I guess the only thing that made you feel comfortable is that as soon as you get out of the lake and you finish shooting that scene, you get off the camera, you go running into a jacuzzi they have right next to us.
Oh, nice.
And then you get in there, you're like, okay, this is better. And once you feel good, they'll call you again, get back in the lake.
How long was that whole process to be in that
3
lake?
straight days.
Oh my God.
Nights, by the way, which makes it better.
Oh my God.
3 straight nights getting into the lake and running back and forward. That was brutal.
Wow.
Brutal, man.
No amount of jacuzzi time could make that.
Oh
perfect.
man, that was crazy. But it was fun. It was very fun.
I love watching you and Milla in these films.
Thank you.
Is there something about it that this genre really has been a big part of your career?
Right.
Whether it's doing this or Final Destination?
Sure.
What is it about this genre?
When I first signed on to this, it was 10 years ago. And when I read the script, I loved the idea. I'd never done an action movie. So it's in this genre, but I'd never done a real, kind of stunt action movie.
Yeah.
And so that was a real challenge for me, something I was very excited to do. Also, kind of entering into a post-apocalyptic world where it was about your physicality. This is not about like monologues and soliloquies. This is about like kick ass, there's no food, there's no water, how are you gonna survive? Someone's trying to kill you at every turn. And so that to me was an interesting kind of character and a thought to kind of drop into. I had no idea that I would continue to do these over the years. And so, who knows? You never know. I'm not someone who goes, oh, that's definitely coming along. And so it's been incredible to be in this female-led franchise, and that, they could easily have put a guy, as her, second in command or whatever. And the fact that they've kept us together, never pinned us against each other, is a real testament to, I think, the video game, to the real fans of Claire.
Well, I think also it seems like we've gone through, I don't even know when it started. Maybe it started with Linda Hamilton. Maybe it started with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, Aliens, sure.
It really became like science fiction, horror, became female-led.
Yeah, absolutely. And, even that, though, she's made 6 of these now.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
know.
incredible. And, this is not a critic's darling. They slam these movies.
Yes, of course.
This is for the fans. And they show up, and they are so excited. I've traveled around the world with these movies, and I've talked to so many people. And the excitement, I've never seen anything like it. And they get to escape their everyday lives and kind of live and breathe in this world.
Yeah.
And also, I grew up, I'm a Jersey girl. I grew up that, the world is your oyster. What do you want to do? It doesn't matter if you're not a man. Go get them, girl. It's not like that around the world. And I'm telling you, when you travel and I talk to people and I talk to these girls, when they see this movie, it makes them feel strong. It makes them feel like anything is possible.
Nice.
And, it's just, it's pretty cool.
Is that the most reaction you get from girls? Or do you get the guys coming up too?
I mean, the guys too, but I guess I'm always amazed that girls love this violent, gory, bloody movie, and they do. They do.
What was the most fun? I mean, a final chapter. That's going to make a lot of people sad, probably.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about it?
I think that with this script, Paul tied up a lot of storylines.
Yeah.
I think that, they've been doing it for 15 years. I've been doing it for 10. And I think that this is the best of them all. So I don't know how you top this. Go out in a bang, right? Go out in a blaze of glory. And that's what I think this movie is.
Well, I think that for watching you both grow, it's exciting. Yeah. And did this lead into the video games? Or I know you're a food person.
Oh my God,
you're huge into food.
Huge foodie.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a huge foodie. Do you like to cook?
No, I don't. I can't at all. That's why I'm fascinated by people who can.
You know what? That's just, my end of the day. That's where I want to go. You know, and I'm always baking and chopping and cooking, and it's where I also put out like that my artistic side. It's like making potions and mixtures, and I love it.
Hi everybody, Eric Walkuski from JOBLO.com here with the wonderful, talented, beautiful Ali Larter.
Thank you. How are you? It's so nice to see you.
So nice to see you too. Last time I saw you, we were hanging out in South Africa. It was about 3 a.m. Cold. That seemed like a pretty regular schedule for you guys. I mean, what was that shoot like? It seemed like it was pretty exhausting.
It was definitely the most strenuous of any of the movies that I've done in my whole life. We did 8 weeks of nights, and being in South Africa, it's just by nature a place of extremes. The wind whips, so your windows are like this when you're trying to sleep, and the sun is so intense. So that kind of brought a great thing to the movie, but it also brought different things that we had to overcome during filming. We were in tunnels, we were in quarries, jumping off and swimming in swamps, running through the night, strapped with guns. My red leather jacket somehow keeps making it through.
Nice. You get to keep that now that's over?
I'm thinking at this point it just keeps on going, that maybe I should have one of them that I keep. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, the cool thing about the Resident Evil movies is that each one is kind of different, looks different. So this one looks pretty epic in scope. I mean, more epic than the rest. Do you feel like this is the right film to close out the series with?
Definitely. So the script, number one, what I loved is that you pick up Claire, she had just been in the helicopter crash, and she's found this group of survivors. And you see her and you meet different people, and, it almost became inevitable for her to have, like, connections with people. And connections lead to even just having, like, wanting, to help someone and wanting to be there for people. And that's something that is very, very dangerous in a post-apocalyptic world. And when Alice arrives, she's shocked and confused and excited that, her girl is back. And when she, she's always there to be like her tireless sidekick.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the relationship between you and Alice in this film and how it's kind of evolved throughout the series.
Yeah. I mean, so when you find out that Alice is going to go on this journey and try to solve the mystery of Umbrella, that's something that Claire wants her to have that experience. She wants her to know and understand her past. And one of the things that you see with Alice, too, is that Claire, on the other side, has been with this other group of survivors, and she's formed relationships with them. So Alice allows them to come along, and then you see that, letting her guard down comes back together.
Looking back at the series as a whole, you've done 4 of these, right? Like, do you have a favorite memory, or, I mean, just a... 3? Oh, 3. Okay, sorry. There's so many. 6.
I mean, isn't that just crazy?
Yeah.
I just remember the first time I was like talking about this movie, and it was after Heroes, and then I did this, and kind of entering into this genre. I mean, I'd been in Final Destination, but when it really started, I think, come together with Comic-Cons and all this, and the reactions that people have to them, and the fact that they're able to take this one idea, keep reinventing it enough that the fans are excited to see it, but holding on to the core, the core principles of the Resident Evil world.
Yeah.
And it's fun for me, I used to be like, I'm not sure if this one's good or not. And now, you know what? To be in a movie that people love, that they're excited about, and to bring back a character that everyone is just like, has so much energy and excitement for, super proud.
What has the fan interaction been like? Because obviously a huge fan base with both games and movies.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've heard plenty over the years. I mean, what has it been like in general?
I mean, just everyone loves Claire, and I guess, I've never played the video game, but people have always connected with her. And so we give we are inspired by it with the costumes, with the red hair, I was going to dye in the red hair, and then the red vest, and now we have a red leather jacket. And so that's kind of like the fun that brings it, that connects people to it.
Are you going to miss playing Claire?
I'm going to miss the family that comes with it. I've loved getting to know Milla and Paul. When we first met, we were like kids, I had just met my husband, and we kind of started on that journey together with having our children. And so, to be able to be in a film, I just had my daughter when we took off for South Africa, and that it's a family, we're there shooting, but at the same time we go home and know that we have other responsibilities. And so I think that it just felt empowering to be like just a kick-ass, working mom, and get out there and then be able to go home and not have to be one or the other.
Yeah. And now if they say, if it's the final chapter, of course, but you never know. If they say, hey, maybe one more, would you be down for that? Or a spin-off? How cool would that be?
You know what? As long as they want me, I will be there. That is my family, and I love them to the core.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.